Hey guys, in my last video I talked about what a standard setup for a terrarium is like. I used my Yellow Belly Annette's terrarium as a basic guide. So that is what it looks like. 2 hides, water dishes, basking logs, plants for climbing, and good substrate that's going to hold humidity and do good things for the snake. But now I'm going to show you what a quarantined tank looks like. In our case, we had mites from another snake that we got in, so everybody had to be quarantined until we were sure that the mites were gone. Unfortunately, we were going to do our normal ball python Chester. We were going to put his back to normal yesterday, and he went into shed. They're a little bit more irritable when they go into shed. Chester's just very, very shy. Each snake has their own different personality. But in another case, for quarantine, whenever you get a new snake, you should definitely have them put outside for 10 days or so, just to make sure that they aren't sick, that they don't have mites that can spread to your other snakes. So this is what quarantine looks like. We have newspaper substrate. A lot of people that have racks just put the newspaper substrate because it's cheaper than buying a whole bunch of other substrates. We have one water dish, a second water dish. That's the one that's big enough for him to soak in. It's also right under the light, which puts off humidity, and it also warms up the water, so if he does want to bask in there, it's nice and warm, it's not too cold. You're not technically supposed to put plants, but we consider this one of his hides. He absolutely loves laying in this fern. We picked it up at Michael's. It was like, I don't know, not very expensive at all. Definitely way cheaper than the plants you would buy at Petco. And then we have one hide over on the cool side. It's also one of his absolute favorites. Unfortunately, he hardly ever comes out of it. And then to help keep the humidity in, we have, I don't know if you can see it very well, it's just a towel. And we essentially doused it in water, put it on top of the cage. It keeps the humidity in, it keeps the heat in, just until we can get back to a normal setup. So that's the difference between a normal setup for a terrarium and a quarantine, very minimal, basic setup for a terrarium. That's about it. And you can see the towel actually keeps the humidity at about 50%, which is amazing. As I mentioned before, humidity is extremely hard to maintain in Western PA for some reason. We have the arid winters and the humid summers, but it seems like it's harder to control in the summer, which is backwards. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope this gave you guys some insight, and as always, have a wonderful day.